Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. It's International Tuba Day, Tony. Do you like brass instruments?
Betcha. In jazz circles, they call me Tony Hornheiser. Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
That was not funny.
So,
not funny at all.
I never played an instrument. I'm sort of tone deaf. But didn't you play piano and organ as a kid? Did you do that?
Organ, keyboards. I played pomp and circumstance for my own high school graduation right here in Chicago.
That's great.
I didn't march.
That's great.
I played it. Then Don sat down and played for me as I went and got my diploma.
That's great. Keep it in the family that way. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Knicks blast the Hawks, the Timberwolves eliminate the Nuggets, and Connor McDavid is out of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But we begin today with the Philadelphia 76ers beating the Boston Celtics last night in Philadelphia to force a Game 7. Philadelphia led the whole way. This was the Celtics' second loss in a row after building a 3-1 lead. Game 7 will be played tomorrow night in Boston. But Wilbon, what does Game 6 say about both teams?
Tony, it might say stuff I wasn't even willing to say 48 hours ago. And let's start with Philadelphia. So you know that last year, getting Embiid and Paul George to combine with Maxey, you know how much I love that. And then you ripped me the whole year because I looked like a dope because they couldn't even get out there and the team was terrible.
That's right.
Okay. So this year started and went pretty much the same direction. I still love those guys. You know that. I root for them.
I do.
And Nick Nurse, who I know, the head coach, I really like Nick Nurse. You know he's a good coach. Wins a championship ring. So what it says about Philadelphia is this is what some of us thought. This is clearly what they thought when they put this team together. Tony, I don't know what it says about the Celtics. You and I have chronicled this. We've talked about for years. They throw a clunker in. They miss threes. If they shoot below 32 or 33%, they lose. If they shoot about 35, they'll blow your doors off. But now this is 3 times in a series, Tone. It says they're stubborn and arrogant, and maybe they'll get beaten. It'll be a huge upset. They don't want to go to a plan B. I don't believe with players that good, you don't have one. They just don't want to do it. But it says, wow, I now love this series.
Yeah, so I had this one completely wrong.
Me too.
I thought that Boston was going to win, and honestly, I thought they were going to win by a lot. So I'm searching for explanations here or trying to come up with theories. So bear with me a little bit. Bear with me a little bit. Last night, Jason Tatum went out in the third quarter. When he came back, he did not re-enter the game. Now, I'm sure he's going to be okay for Game 7, but my theory or my question revolves around him. It's great that he came back when he did. They closed the season 13-3 with him. It was a remarkable comeback.
Yeah.
But the Celtics were very good without him. Jaylen Brown was great without him. And now that he is back, all I'm wondering is this, and I don't see how it's possible because they were 13-3 with him, but is there something wrong with the chemistry now that he is back that this would happen? And the alternative is, or is it just the three-point shooting? Let me give you numbers on the three-point shooting that you already know. Under Joe Mazzulla, the Celtics are 17-1 in playoff games when they shoot 40% or more in threes. They are 19-9 when they're under that. But here's what they shot the last 2 games. 29% last night, 28% the time before that. That's 28 for 80, and they shoot 1,000,000 threes, and you're right, they're stubborn. They win that way, they lose that way, so maybe it's just the threes. Let me ask you this. Do you know the last time the Philadelphia 76ers eliminated the Celtics from the playoffs? Do you know the last time?
It was probably a team with Wilt.
No, it's after Wilt, but it's a long time ago. It's 1982. It's Julius and Bird.
It's
1982. It's a long time.
Man, you're working on a half century with the last time. I can't wait for Game 7. I can't wait. Can't wait for that Game 7 now. Can't believe there is one. We had unexpected results in the other 2 games last night, too. The Knicks crushed the Hawks, killed them, led by 25 at the end of the first, 47 at the half, 51 at the buzzer. And in Minnesota, a Timberwolves team without Anthony Edwards, without Dante DiVincenzo, without Ayo Dosunmu, my man, somehow beat the Nuggets by 12. So the Knicks and the T-Wolves advanced, Tone, whose win was more impressive to you?
On the cosmic level, Minnesota's win is more impressive because Minnesota won a series against a team that is a recent NBA champion. And the co-hosts on this show did not expect them to win at all. They did not have their starting backcourt at all, including the most important and most valuable player on the team. And he didn't play at all. And they still won this. And it is a feather in their cap that they won this. As I said, we didn't see it coming. But on the jump and shout level, oh, it's the Knicks. That's the most unbelievable margin of victory maybe of all time. This is 50 plus in the second quarter. 50 plus. It's 60 plus in the third quarter. It is the most embarrassing game in the history of the NBA playoffs. Look, Atlanta's not trying to tank. They're not the Wizards.
No,
it's game 6 of the playoffs. They're a good team, and they're at home. All right? And there is a historic loss. What are my notes here? Adam Silver had to be cringing watching this. I'll tell you the truth, Mike. Middle of the third quarter, I stopped. It was too cruel for me.
When I texted
it was a train wreck.
I texted you from the flight, and you were gone already. And I said, hey, it's 56, because I just got on a plane, sat down in my seat, got ESPN. That's why I booked that particular flight. And I'm looking at the score thinking the Chiron's wrong. This can't be a score in a playoff game.
Yes.
And that's what I texted you to say, is this right? Are you watching this? But Tony, you can't go with that game. You got to go with your first instinct.
That's what I'm saying. On the cosmic level, it's Minnesota. Yes, it is Minnesota. But Mike, this is a true story. I go out to walk the dog last night. The television is on. The game is on. I'm not paying that much attention. I get back, and on the bottom of the screen, it says something like 63-21. And I go, whoa, that's got to be wrong, because it's a second quarter. And then the Knicks hit a shot, and it moves to 65-21. And I go, oh, my God, that's the actual score in the second.
Oh, my God.
Unbelievable.
Right. Tony,
it's
what do
unbelievable.
you do now with Denver? They've lost in the second round, and first round since winning that title. We know the Joker is great. No, we're not arguing that. But it looks like, to me, you have to break them up. They've changed coaches. They've moved players around the periphery.
Maybe. I don't know. So. I mean, they did win one. They did win when they got the ring. I would say to you that, that Jokic is in a position, although he's won, and the next guy we're going to talk about, Connor McDavid, hasn't. But let's move to hockey. The Edmonton Oilers were eliminated comfortably last night by the Anaheim Ducks 5-2. Connor McDavid in the 6-game series had only one goal. Afterwards, McDavid said, this is a quote, "It was tough. We were an average team all year. An average team with high expectations, you're going to be disappointed," unquote. Wilbon, what does this first-round exit mean for Connor McDavid, for the Oilers, and for the NHL?
Well, Connor McDavid is going to be somewhere between an annoyance or an embarrassment, depending on how personally he feels. And I don't know Connor McDavid. I don't know how he takes these things. I certainly know great players who would feel anywhere on that range. Tony, for the league, it's not a good thing, because the casual viewer that turns in would want to see Connor McDavid. We got a long time to play hockey, like basketball. These playoffs go until mid-June, and there's no Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. And what it means for that team is, do you have to? I don't want to say break them up, because they've traded people. They've gotten rid of vets. They've moved picks around. They've done all these things to massage that team, and it hasn't worked. And you got McDavid and Draisaitl, who on anybody's list have to be two of the top 10, 12 players in the league, maybe like 3 or 4 with Connor McDavid. I still think, though, when you lose like this in the first round, changes are coming.
I don't think it's a problem for the league, though I will note with curiosity that the teams that were in the Stanley Cup Finals the last 2 years, Edmonton and Florida, are now out of the playoffs. Florida didn't make the playoffs.
Didn't even make it.
So that leads me to believe, Mike, that if you go through the Stanley Cup Final rigors, it is 2 years in a row. It's so exhausting that it's hard to get back for a third year.
That and the rules, the salary cap rules are so draconian.
Salary cap rules. Yeah. So I don't think it's bad for the league, because fans will look, maybe they'll look for Montreal or Buffalo or Philadelphia or something like that. But I want to concentrate on McDavid's contract situation. McDavid could have signed a 7-year contract for a lot of money with Edmonton. He chose instead to sign specifically a 2-year contract. This was Connor McDavid putting the Edmonton Oilers on notice.
Yes.
He was basically saying, get us a goalie. I'm taking less money here. You can use this money. Get us a goalie. This is not unlike what Joe Burrow did in Cincinnati, saying, get me a defense. We need a defense. And Cincinnati went out and in free agency tried to do it. Mike, I think that Connor McDavid, he'll be 31 at the end of this contract. I think if he hasn't won a Stanley Cup, I think he goes the way that LeBron James originally left Cleveland to go win something. I do. I think that's what's going to happen.
Could be this offseason.
Right? And he's clear-eyed about this. He called them average. He knows what he's talking about. Let's take a break.
He was right. He didn't overstate it. He was right about it.
He was right. Coming up, Quinn Hughes meant to shoot this puck off a defender's skate. What is the word for that?
And the Kentucky Derby is tomorrow, which means Anthony Kornheiser is going to make us talk about the horses.
Well, only because 30 or 40 million people watch that race. Only because every year it's one of the top 5.
It's still that many?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yes, the Kentucky Derby. Yeah, not the others.
Pardon.
Time to enter the octagon of lexicon was first.
Quinn Hughes' game-winning goal was blank.
My word is surreptitious. He's not aiming at the goal. I mean, watch carefully when they show the video. He's aiming way right of the goal. What is he aiming at? He's aiming at the skate of a Dallas defender. It is his intention to hit the skate, have the puck carom around the goalie and go in. And it happens. And it's fantastic. It's a combination of geometry and intellect. It's truly fabulous. And talking about fabulous, how about the Hughes brothers so far this year? Jack gets a goal that wins the Olympics, and Quinn gets these 2 goals last night and sends Minnesota into the second round for the first time in 11 years.
Well, I want to concentrate on the intellect part that you mentioned. My word is genius. Because people may think that's a fluke or an accident. It isn't. It isn't an accident. Tony, guys practice things. When you go to practice, you're an old-fashioned sports writer like we were. And you could go into practice. You and I saw things that defied explanation or common sense, that these guys are like artists. And they do these things, they practice them. You remember when Sonny Jurgensen, the great now late Sonny Jurgensen, was in his 60s, and he could throw a spiral behind his back at practice, at Redskins practice. He had been retired for 25 years. He could throw a tight spiral behind his back 25 yards to a receiver and hit him dead in the hands. And you're like, how does he do this? Because guys practice this stuff or at least they used to. And one of the things I think the sports suffer from now, they don't have as many days and sessions to practice. But Hughes is looking at that skate. He has studied it. He knows the angles. He knows that skater, that defenseman is likely to be there. And this is genius. And there's way too little of it because people are telling us he had 25, 5, 5, 5, and 5 instead of opening their eyes and paying attention to the genius on the ice, the court, or the field.
It's why when they do those skills challenges at the All-Star game in hockey, it's unbelievable what they can do with the puck. It's unbelievable.
What they practice.
What's next?
Renegade is a blank favorite for tomorrow's Kentucky Derby.
My word is uneasy. Renegade is a 4-1 favorite right now. That's pretty long odds for a favorite. People are concerned that he drew the post position 1, the far inside in the Kentucky Derby. That is a circumstance where you can get pinched early. You can lose the Derby in the first 100 yards. You want early speed in a horse from the 1 hole, and he happens to be a closer. So it works against him. I talked to our friend Andy Beyer today, who knows more about horse racing than anyone on earth. And Andy is putting his money on a horse called Further Ado, which is right now 7-1, not 4-1, 7-1. Andy said he saw him race in the Bluegrass Stakes in Keeneland earlier this year, where he won by 11 lengths. And Andy said it was absolutely a spectacular performance. And he also said that last year at Keeneland, in a maiden race, he won by 20 lengths. You know, now, Keeneland is Kentucky, and the last time I looked, so's the Derby. And I'm going to go with Andy and my friend Eddie, who also likes Further Ado.
I know how much this fascinates and excites you. I'm going to get to a little story in a second. Renegade is a challenged favorite because of being in the one hole. I mean, if this, you know, the last time a horse won the Kentucky Derby from that spot?
I do. It's 1986.
Come on.
Yeah, it's 40
Ferdinand.
years. Yeah.
1986. So it's not going to happen. Let me tell you this. You know how I don't watch, I won't watch, I refuse to watch. I don't know where I got this from because let me tell you something. My father's favorite thing other than boxing, was horse racing. And so he is rolling over in his grave that I will do. And I have gone to Kentucky and spent 2 different weeks with Andrew Beyer. But the most fascinating thing is walking around with Beyer, who is more famous than any jockey, trainer, maybe not trainer, or horse, is being there with Beyer. But then I leave on Saturday, Tone. I've never seen the Derby because I go back to the NBA playoffs. I've never seen one. I've been there for the week.
I like the Derby. And remember this. They are the Beyer speed figures, the most important statistic in horse racing. It's his. The Beyer speed figures, not the Wilbon speed figures. That's the final word. Let's take one last break. Still to come. The president of the swooning Mets makes a statement about manager Carlos Mendoza.
And will the Rockets push the Lakers to a Game 7 tonight? Can't wait to see that.
Also, not the Hornheiser speed figures. No, they're Andy Beyer's. If he likes this horse, you and I like this horse. It's that simple.
It's great. It's great.
This is brought to you by Car Shield. Call, drive, and save.
Happy time, people. Happy 64th birthday, Gary Clark. When Joe Gibbs was coaching the Washington football team to 3 Super Bowl championships, he did it with 3 different starting quarterbacks, Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, and Mark Rippon. But Gibbs' main receiving corps had a longer tenure than the quarterbacks. Gary Clark and Ricky Sanders were together for 2 of the Super Bowl wins, and Art Monk was there for all 3. Clark was a second-round supplemental draft pick out of James Madison in 1984. During his time in Washington, he ended up with 549 catches, 4th all-time in franchise history, 8,742 yards, 3rd all-time, and 58 receiving touchdowns, 4th all-time. Clark was 5'9", played way bigger.
Gary Clark was one tough dude. And I can make the case that he's a Hall of Famer. If you look at impact and don't get totally just blown away because you have to have certain numbers, impact on Super Bowl winning teams, I can make the case for Gary Clark going in. I can.
Happy anniversary, Bob Feller. On this day 71 years ago, the fireballing right-hander threw his 12th one-hitter, a major league record, as Cleveland beat Boston 2-0. Rapid Robert Feller pitched all of his 18 major league seasons for Cleveland. He had 3 no-hitters as well. Nolan Ryan now shares the record for one-hitters and holds the no-hit record with 7. This enables me to say that Shirley Povich covered Walter Big Train Johnson for the Washington Post in the 1920s. One day he was telling me and Wilbon about how hard Johnson threw and how he had asked Johnson who he thought threw hard. And Shirley said, quote, "Train said, this Feller kid is pretty fast." Train said, okay? Train said.
There was no follow-up to that, just like there was no follow-up another time, and it might have been both of us or just me, when you talked to Shirley, and he didn't dwell in the past all that much, but he also said, Ruth told me. Not Dr. Ruth, boys and girls, George Herman Ruth. Ruth told me. We were captivated and worked with a man who covered Ruth and Gehrig and Train. How about that?
Yeah.
And Joe Louis.
Happy trails.
How about that?
Yes. Happy trails to 2 for the Giants. San Francisco led Philly in the bottom of the 9th of both games of a doubleheader yesterday, lost them both. The day game on an infield single by rookie Justin Crawford, and the nightcap on a 10th inning sac fly by Alec Boehm. Reliever Chase Sugart got the win in both games. That's the first time that's happened in 13 years. The Phillies are now 3-0 under interim manager Don Mattingly. 2 games clear of the lowly Mets, who lost yesterday for the 17th time in 20 games, I believe, to the Nats. But Mets boss David Stern said today he does not intend to change managers.
I'm tired of these I-95 baseball teams that stink. Phillies, Mets, we talked about them all week. They stink. Meanwhile, my Cubbies have won 13 of 16, working on 14 of 17, not to mention. I-95 baseball, get out of here.
Quickly to the big finish. 3 game sixes in the NBA tonight. Which series goes to 7?
Tone, Pistons, Raptors, Rockets all win to force game 7s, all of them. Caitlin Clark scored 21, but banged her knee in her preseason debut for the Fever last night. Your thoughts?
Preseason doesn't mean anything. She'll be there when the bell rings. Cubs second baseman Nico Horner left today's game with left-sided neck tightness. Cause for concern, Mr. Cub?
He's the best all-around player on the team right now. Again, 13 out of 16 we'd won going into this afternoon at Wrigley. Pirate center fielder O'Neal Cruz fed a banana to Punxsutawney Phil. What do you make of that?
I thought Punxsutawney Phil's moment was in February. It's April.
Yeah,
what
me
is
too.
this? Last one. 3 game sixes in the NHL tonight. Will the Canadiens, Sabres, and Golden Knights all advance?
A lot of game 6s. Canadians advance at home. Sabres and Knights lose on the road.
We're out of time. We're going to try to do better the next time. And I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Have a great weekend, knuckleheads. And now, watch those game 6s, all of them. Here's
Punxsutawney